Hello students, what's up again? So now I am there with you once again, but this time I have got some difficult questions for you. So you might be thinking that we are gonna do some theory part, right? But guys, we have completed the theory part of the chapter mole concept, which is some basic concepts of chemistry, right? So since we have done the theory part, we discussed the CBSE level questions. We discussed the JEE mains level question as well, right? So now it's the time that we should move on to the same chapter mole concept, but this time JEE advanced pattern exercise, okay? So guys, I have collected a set of 10 questions which you can see. I have got so many questions for you. So we need to start with the very first question, okay? So let us do one thing. Let me read out the question so that I can start explaining the question to you properly. So with that particular start, let us begin up with the very first question. And the question says that dissolving 120 grams of urea. Okay, so you had 120 grams of urea. So guys, first of all, you should be knowing urea. What is the chemical formula of urea? The chemical formula of urea can be written as NH2 CO NH2. Oh wow, that is nice, no? The molecular weight is already given to me, which is 60. So you may write down the molar weight of urea is 60 grams per mole. Okay. In 1000 gram of water, so there is a water sample which is 1000 gram. Okay, this gave a solution whose density is given to me. The density of solution is given to me 1.15 grams per ml. Okay, and I simply need to calculate what is the molarity of the solution. Okay. So using all these 4 data points that are given to me, let us start with the calculation of molarity of the solution. So guys, how to write the molarity? Molarity is basically written as number of moles of solute by volume of solution in liters, right? But number of moles of solute can further be written as given mass to be divided by molar mass, and the whole is to be divided by the volume of solution, which is to be taken in liters. Okay, so let us first say how much mass is given to me. So we have 120 gram of urea. So can I simply write 120 grams divided by, what is the molar mass, guys? You should mention the units as I told you so many times. Molar mass is 60 grams per mole. Now what is the volume of solution in liter? This I don't know. I am again writing volume of solution in liters. See, I am not writing just volume and bracket saying L. No, I am writing volume of solution in liter. Why I am doing so? That is also very important. You will see just in a minute. So can I simply write 2, and here per mole will become 2 moles, right? So what will I finally be getting? 2 moles to be divided by volume of solution, and this is to be written in liters, right? So this will be the final molarity. Okay. So with this thing, we need to calculate what should be the volume of solution, right? Listen carefully, guys. We are given that you have taken 1000 grams of water. So what is the mass of solution? What is the mass of solution, guys? Mass of solution. Solution means you must be having solute plus you must be having solvent, right? What is the mass of solute? Guys, solute is given to us as 120 grams, which is urea. And solvent is 1000 grams of water. That means making the mass of solution as 1120 grams. Okay, so till this point I have simply got the mass of solution, but I wanted volume of solution in liters. So what should I say? Can I simply write down like the density of solution? So when I am talking about density of solution, this is given to me as 1.15 grams per ml, right? So can I simply say that if there is 1.15 grams of solution, then the volume will be 1 ml, right? Cool enough? If, however, I have 1120 grams of solution, now I need to figure out what will be the volume of solution in ml. So what should I be writing? I should be writing 1120 to be divided by 1.15. And if you calculate it, the answer will be coming out to be 973.9 ml. Right? So my mind is calculator. I have done the calculations beforehand and finally the answer came out to be 979.9 ml. Okay? Guys, so finally I have got the volume of solution which can be written as, I am just approximating it to 974 to be divided by 1000, and this will be coming out to be liters. Am I right? So if I do the calculation, the final molarity of the solution that I'll get will be something 2.05 molar. This also I did the calculation and this is the answer for you. By the way, you can redo the calculations to check whether I am getting the correct answer or not. Let me now figure out whether this particular molarity is given or it is not given. 1.78 should not be the answer. 2 should not be the answer. 2.05, yes, that's the answer. 2.22, not the answer, right? So guys, this was how we did the very first question of JEE Advanced, right? So having done with the first question, I would ask you to note it down carefully, very properly and completely, so that now I can move on to question number 2. Note it down. Okay guys, I think you are now done with the very first question that we have written on board. Let me now move on to the second question for you people. And the question number 2 that is written here, it's a paragraph question, okay. So that's another kind of question, another category of questions which is asked in JEE Advanced. Like they will be giving you a paragraph. On the basis of that paragraph, there will be 2 questions or 3 questions followed, okay. And we need to answer those 2 or 3 questions. So I think in this particular case, question number 2 and question number 3, they will be a continuous question for this particular paragraph, okay. Let us directly come on to question number 2. The question says that FeSO4 undergoes decomposition as, so there is a reaction which is decomposition reaction of FeSO4. So 2 molecules of FeSO4 in the solid state will decompose to form Fe2O3 in the solid state plus SO2 plus SO3 in the gaseous state, okay. So 2 of the products are gases and 1 of the product is solid. Cool enough? Now, at 1 atmospheric pressure and 273 Kelvin, which is the standard conditions, right? If 7.6 grams of FeSO4 is taken, then you need to figure out the volume occupied by the gases at 1 atmosphere pressure. That means at the same temperature pressure conditions, what will be the volume occupied by each gas at 273 Kelvin and 1 atm pressure. Okay, So that's the question. Let us now start moving on to how to write the answer to this question. So guys, first of all, I will ask you to calculate what should be the molar mass of FeSO4. If you talk about FeSO4, it contains iron with atomic mass 56 plus sulfur with atomic mass 32 plus oxygen with atomic mass 16. So 4 multiplied by 16, which is 64. If you do the calculation, the answer comes out to be 152 grams per mole. Okay, so finally we have got what is the molar mass of FeSO4. Right? Now let us do the calculation. We have 2 FeSO4 is gonna give Fe2O3 in the solid state plus SO2 in the gaseous state plus SO3 in the gaseous state, right? So this is the chemical equation that I have written. And we need to calculate like individually what is the volume of the gas which will be occupied. So what is the volume of SO2 and what is the volume of SO3, that will be evolved out. Okay. So can I now simply say that if you are starting with 2 moles of FeSO4, then how much SO2 will be getting? So you will be getting 1 mole of SO2 and 1 mole of SO3, right? Guys, if you remember the standard temperature pressure conditions, the STP conditions, we know, right, when temperature is 273.15 Kelvin and when the pressure is 1 atm, then the volume occupied by the ideal gas will be 22.4 liter if you would have started with 1 mole of the ideal gas, right? So starting with 1 mole of the ideal gas, we will get the volume equal to 22.4 liters. Okay. Now what should I say? Can I say 2 moles of FeSO4 will give us how much gases? We'll get 1 plus 1 mole, that means we'll get 2 into 22.4 liters. Am I right? So what is, now you can simply cancel out 2 and 2 on left hand side and right hand side. So now can I say 152, you can see 152 grams of FeSO4 will give me how much gas? Overall 22.4 liter. So that's the overall amount of gas that will be released, right? But are we having 152 grams? No. We actually have how much? This 7.6, right? So what should I write? 7.6 grams of FeSO4 gas. FeSO4 will be giving how much gas? It will be giving gas is equal to, can I simply write, guys, 22.4 to be divided by 152 from here, which is then to be multiplied with 7.6. And if you do the calculation, guys, the answer comes out to be 1.12 liters. And this is the total volume of the SO2 and SO3 that will be given out. So let us see if there is any particular answer. 22.4 is not the correct answer. 11.2, again no. 1.12, yes. So that's the correct answer for question number 2. Okay. So I hope you people are done with it. Give me just a sec so that now we can proceed with the third question as well. Okay. It's a paragraph question, right? So let me show the third question to you because I need this part of the other part of the solution we still need. Let us move on to the third question. And the question says the average molar mass of the gaseous mixture will be what? What will be the average molar mass of the gaseous mixture? Right? Guys, come with me to the solution that we have done earlier. In this particular question, you can see I have written one equation where 1 mole of SO2 and 1 mole of SO3 were being obtained, right? That means I was actually getting sulfur dioxide as 1 mole. Also, I was getting sulfur trioxide as 1 mole. Am I right? So, what should be the average molar mass? So, if you talk about the average molar mass, it will come out to be something like, write the number of moles for SO2 and what should be the molar mass of SO2. So, see guys, 32 plus 32, 64 grams per mole, right? Plus, I will add to it what? An amount. Okay, let me just write it little to the left hand side. So, I have 1 mole multiplied by 64 grams per mole. Point number 1 plus what is SO3? 16 into 3, 48 plus 32, which comes out to be 80. 80 grams per mole into again 1 mole. Okay, but now we have to divide it by the total number of moles, which I know 1 plus 1 is 2 moles. Okay, let's see whether the units we are getting are okay or not. Mole inverse, mole, get cancelled. So here the value is 64 grams plus mole inverse mole, again got cancelled, divided by 80. This plus 80 grams divided by 2 moles. See guys, if you solve it, you will get the value equal to 72 grams per mole. Okay. Now see, the units we are getting are quite good because we have to find the average molar mass. Finally, I am finding out the molar mass only, right? And the molar mass is having the units gram per mole only. Cool enough? Let's see if we can get the answer. Oh yeah, that's nice. So option number A is the correct option for question number 3. Okay. So guys, now you can note down everything on this side as well as on the left hand side, whatever you want, so that we can now proceed on to question number 4 for the same. So guys, we are done with question number 3. Having done with question number 3, let us now finally move on to the next question that I have, which is question number 4. So this time again, I have chosen a different pattern question, and the question is the statement type question. Okay. So what are we doing in the statement type question? I have not written down the exact format. But the question is, there is statement 1 which is given to you. There is another statement, statement 2 which is given to you. Okay. You need to figure out whether first statement is true or false. Whether second statement is true or false. And finally, you need to find out whether second statement is true or it's the explanation of first is the second statement or not. Okay. So there are 4 options. Maybe first is true, second is true, and they are not the correct explanation. First false, second false, first true, second false, and all these combinations are there. So we need to figure out first of all whether they are true or not, and yes, if they are true, can the first statement be explained by the second statement or not? Okay. So that is the question. Let us start solving the question. So guys, the question, first statement number 1 is, molality of pure ethanol is lesser than that of pure water. Okay, let me just write down. Ethanol. I will simply be representing like E. Water, I will represent like W. Okay. So first of all, we need to prove whether the molality of ethanol is less than the molality of water. So this we need to figure out. So I have written option number 1. Okay. Second is, as the density of ethanol is lesser than the density of water. And finally he has given the density of ethanol something around 0.789 grams per ml. And the density of water also he has given 1 gram per ml. Okay. So guys, the second statement is true, right? You can simply see density of ethanol is less than density of water. So the second statement is true. Let me just write. Okay. Now we need to figure out with the basis of the data that is given to me, is statement number 1 okay or any doubts are there? Let's see. Let's see guys, we are given that we need to prove or we need to find out whether this thing is okay or not. And the density of ethanol is given and water is given. So let's first do from water. Water is 1 gram per ml. What does this mean? This means 1 ml of water will weigh 1 gram, right? So if I am talking about 1000 ml of water, let me just for instance say I am having 1000 ml of water, so the density, the mass will be 1000 grams, right? For water if I talk about, then the molar mass I know is 18 grams per mole. Clear? Okay. So can I find out how much water will be there in 1000 grams of water? So you will say 1000 divided by 18, which is 55.55 moles. Okay. So what should be the molality? Now the molality will come out to be the number of moles of water, which is 55.55. To be divided by the mass of solvent in kg, which is 1000 grams. So 1 kg. So the molality of water comes out to be 55.55 molar. Point number 2 that I have got. Let me just go there and write the molality of water. Finally I got to be 55.55 molar. Clear enough? Okay. Now guys, let us further move on to find out what should be the molality of ethanol solution. Now what is the density of ethanol given to me? It is given as 0.789. grams per ml. See guys, if you are just working with the units part, so these are the units, right, grams per ml. If you simply play with the units, maximum like 90% of the question can be solved only and only if you play with the units. Now see what is to be done. Can I say 1 ml of ethanol will be weighing how much grams? 0.789 grams. Okay. So 1000 ml. Earlier I have taken 1000 ml of water, right? Now I will be taking 1000 ml of ethanol. So 1000 ml of ethanol will weigh how much? 0.789 multiplied by 1000, which is 789 grams. Okay. Now moving further, can I write what is the molar mass of ethanol? So if I am talking about ethanol, the formula is C2H5OH. And if you calculate the molar mass of ethanol, it will be 12 into 2 plus 5 plus 1 for hydrogen, like 6 hydrogens are there, plus 16. And if you solve it, the answer comes out to be 46 grams per mole. Clear? Okay. So now can I simply find out how many moles of ethanol will be there in 789 grams? What should I say? I'll say, so 1000 ml of ethanol will have how many moles of ethanol? You will simply say 789 grams of ethanol was there, right? To be divided by 46 grams per mole. And if you calculate, the answer will be coming out to be something around 17.15. You can cross check the calculations that I have done. Okay? But these are the number of moles that I have got. I need to find out the molality. So molality will be number of moles by mass of solvent in kg. So what is the number of moles? 17.15 by how much amount of solvent? In this case, solvent is nothing but ethanol only, na, which is 789. So it should be 0.789 kilogram. You solve it and the value will come out to be 21.74 molal. So I am getting the molality of ethanol as, which is almost half compared to the molality of water. Okay. So here the question was, molality of pure ethanol is lesser than pure water, and hence the statement is true. Okay. So the statement 1 is also correct, statement 2 is also correct. But I couldn't say statement 1 is correct because of statement 2. No. Actually, it is because of all that calculation that I got that statement 1 was found to be correct, right? Depending upon the values, like in how much amount of the solvent this much amount of solute is present. So depending upon all those calculations, this was found true. So both of them are true, but second is not the correct explanation of the first one. Okay. So yes guys, this was question number 4. You can please note down the solution that you have so that we can then further continue to question number 5. Okay, cool guys, right? So having done with this particular question, I thought of taking one another statement type question for you people. And this time the question that I have taken is, again we have two statements. One is statement 1, one is statement number 2. Statement number 1 says that a 1 molar solution, a 1 molar solution which is prepared at 20 degrees C. So you need to be very careful about the temperature he has mentioned, 20 degrees C, will retain the same molality at 100 degrees C. Something difficult is happening or something is there, right? Provided there is no loss of solute or solvent on heating. And yes guys, I think the statement is 100% true. And why so the statement is 100% true? Do you remember why we shifted our discussion from the topic molarity? We ended up going to the topic molality. Why? Because we used to say, right, this molarity terms is number of moles of solute by volume of solution to be taken in liters, right? But then I used to say that the volume changes continuously with the change in temperature. You bring about a little change in temperature, the volume changes and hence the molarity changes, right? However, if you will be talking in the terms of molality, we say number of moles of solute by mass of solvent in kg. Now this mass thing is independent of temperature, right? The mass doesn't change with the temperature. So we can say if you work at 20 degrees C or you may start working at 100 degrees C, the molality is gonna be same and hence I can write true for this. Okay. Second is molality is independent of temperature. Right. Yes, so guys, the question was quite easy. Statement number 1 is true. Statement number 2 is also true, and both of them are correlated with each other, right? We can say one is the conclusion, or you can say one is the reason for the second one, right? So one of the statement will be explaining the other one also. So guys, this was about question number 5. That was simple question. So let us quickly continue with question number 6 as well. Just provide me a minute so that I can change the question for you. And the question that we have, oh, finally we got the 4 options for the question, right? So guys, the question says that, read out the question carefully. The question is, a mixture of C3H8, okay, in the gaseous state and oxygen in the gaseous state having a total volume of 100 ml. In a eudiometry tube is sparked and is observed that a contraction of 45 ml is observed. What can be the best composition of the reacting mixtures, right? So we are given 4 reacting compositions. We need to tell which out of the 4 reacting mixtures will be equivalent to the discussion that is going on in the question. Okay? So with this background, let us continue doing the question. You first have to write the balanced chemical equation, right? So let us write it down. The question is C3H8 plus O2 to form CO2 plus water, right? 3 carbon atoms, 3 carbon atoms. 8 hydrogen atoms, 8 hydrogen atoms. 4 plus 6, 10, that means 5 O2. So this is the final balanced chemical equation that I have got. Okay. Now, guys, see, I don't know, nothing is given to me. He is simply saying that you have this and this, and together they make a volume of, let's say, 100 ml, right? I don't know what is given more in amount. Whether this is more or this is more, whether this is more or this is more, nothing like that is given to me, right? So guys, can I now say, just imagine or just assume if C3H8 is the limiting reagent in the reaction. So LR, you know, right, is the limiting reagent in the reaction. So whatever will be the corresponding composition of C3H8, almost the same, the equivalent composition of O2 will be reacting, right? That means if I write, let us just, I am just taking as of now C3H8 as the limiting reagent, okay? So let's say initially this A ml is reacting, okay? Now guys, if 1 ml reacts or 1 mole reacts, 5 moles of O2 will be reacting. So if A will react, 5A will be reacting. Oxygen is there in extra amount also, but how much is reacting? 5A. Earlier this was nothing, this was nothing, okay? So finally this got used up. Even 5A got used up. The remaining amount of oxygen is still there, okay? And how much will be produced? 1 will form 3, so A will form 3A. And since water, guys, water will be produced in the liquid state. So that is the reason why there is a contraction in the volume. Earlier the volume of the gases was more, but later on, since water is formed and we just ignore the amount of water being formed, because the volume of liquid is much lesser compared to the volume of gases, right? So we will just ignore it. So can I now simply say the change in volume, which is A plus 5A, this was initial, minus 3A. Although there is contraction, so I should have written the other way around. Okay? But you can put the magnitude because you are talking about the change. And the contraction is given to be 45 ml. Fine? So can I simply say 6A minus 3A, which is 3A. So 3A is equal to 45, A is equal to 50. That means our sample was having 15 ml of C3H8 and the remaining 85 ml would have been the other oxygen, right? Let us see if any composition is there. 15 ml of C3H8 and 85 ml of O2, that is correct. Okay? But what will happen, many of the students will directly do the first part and they will not see that on the question it was written it can be a multi-correct question. Like there can be multiple correct answer for one particular question. So if it is a multi-correct question, you need to check all the other remaining options as well. Okay? And in that particular case, guys, let me just change it. Don't you think I should have simply assumed the other case as well, where not the C3H8 but O2 is the limiting reagent? Okay, so if I am saying that O2 is the limiting reagent, so now just assume that A ml of oxygen is reacting. Okay, if 5 moles of oxygen react, 1 mole of C3H8 is required. So if A moles or A ml of oxygen will react, how much C3H8 will be reacting? A by 5. Okay, this was nothing, nothing. After some time, all used up, all used up. Now if 5 will give 3, so 1 will give how much? 3 by 5. So A will give how much? 3A by 5 ml. Okay. Now let us again find out the change in the volume. So change in volume will be 3A by 5 minus A by 5 plus A. Okay. So guys, can I write this A as 5A by 5 just for simple calculation? Now 5A plus A, this becomes 6A by 5. Simply remove it. So 3A by 5 minus 6A by 5, this will be nothing but 3A by 5, and this is given to us as 45. Am I right? So finally I'll get, if you solve the value of A, you will be getting the answer as A is equal to 15 into 5, that is 75 ml. Am I right? So if A, now this time A was oxygen, see. So the B amount, which will be 100 minus 75. 25 ml will be C3H8. Let's see the answer. 25 ml C3H8 plus 75 ml O2 is again the correct answer for this particular question. Right? So depending upon which out of the two, whether you are taking C3H8 or you are taking O2 as the limiting reagent, the answer will vary. Okay, so one time you will get first option as the correct answer, another time you will get second option as the correct answer. Okay, so guys, note it down quickly so that we can continue with the 7th question. So guys, I think everyone is done with question number 6 as well. It was pretty lengthy a question. Now I think we should proceed on to the next question. So I have written down question number 7 for you. This time, since we have done lengthy question, the question I think is a little simpler. The question, yeah guys, so why did I take this question for you people? This question is actually JEE advanced question, okay? So like when you are getting so many questions, there may be at least 1 or 2 questions which are very simple. Okay, so suppose if the paper is too damn difficult and you started with the paper and you are like, oh my god, it's too bad, I can't do it. Then also do not lose hope. There must be some or the other very simple questions as well. So when we'll do this question and you'll feel like, ma'am, this was the question in JEE Advanced, and I'll say, yeah, this was the question. Okay, so that time you people will be like more comfortable that if these kind of questions are there, then whenever you lose hope in the exam, you can quickly search for looking into the simplest questions. First pick up those simple questions, do them, and then move on to the difficult ones as well. Okay, let us read the question. The question is, which has maximum number of atoms? Maximum number of atoms are present in which of them? This time I am going to start from option number D. Silver 108 simply means that the molar mass of silver is 108 grams per mole. So can I simply say that 108 grams of silver will simply mean 1 mole of silver atoms, right? So let me simply write 1 mole here, right? Similarly, 27 grams of aluminium. Now aluminium, what is the molar mass of aluminium? Don't you think aluminium is again 27? So 27 grams per mole. So 1 mole will have 27 grams. In other words, I can say 27 grams will have 1 mole, right? Next is 56 grams of iron. We just did in the previous question. The atomic mass of iron is again 56. So 56 gram per mole, that means 56 gram is equivalent to 1 mole. So all the three are having the same numbers. For sure, this cannot be the answer, cannot be the answer, cannot be the answer, right? Now moving on to 24 grams of C12. We know carbon is 12 grams per mole, right? So 1 mole of carbon atom weighs 12 grams. So 24 grams of carbon atom will have how many moles? It's pretty simple. 2 moles, and 2 is the maximum out of all the 1, 1, 1. So this is the correct answer for question number 7, right? So having done with question number 7, let us quickly continue to another question, which is question number 8. So you must be getting a ray of hope, right? Sometimes easy questions are also there in JEE Advanced. Let us come to question number 8. Oh my God. So this time I have taken another pattern question for you, and this is match the following. Okay. I'll tell you how exactly you should be proceeding with the questions which are of the type match the following. The question you will find is easy, but I'll tell you where the students are going to commit the mistakes. So you have column number 1 and column number 2, and let us start with option number A. So in option number A, it is given 16 grams of methane. Guys, what is the molar mass of methane? 12 plus 4, 16, right? So it is nothing but 16 grams per mole. Okay. So don't you think if you are talking about 16 grams of methane, you are, so see, for option number A, it's your duty to first of all write down PQRS. That means for A, all the PQRS can be answered. Maybe P and Q are answer, maybe P R, or maybe only R can be the answer, right? So you need to find out whether A will be okay with PQRS or what, right? So P says that half mole molecules are there. No, we have 1 mole of molecules, right? Q says that there are 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 into 5 atoms. That is correct, no? 1 mole of CH4 has how many molecules? It has 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 molecules of CH4. Am I right? And guys, if I simply write 1 molecule of CH4 will have how many atoms? 4 plus 1, 5. So don't you think it satisfied 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 into 5? So Q is the correct option, right? Now don't be satisfied that, oh wow, I got the answer as Q, so I should not move on to R and S. I told you it's your duty to move to R and S. Moving further, so here we have, it is 11.2 liters. Guys, if I work at standard temperature pressure conditions that I told you in the last question as well, if the temperature is taken to be 0 degrees C, right, which is 273.15 Kelvin, and the pressure is taken to be 1 atm. Okay, then the volume of the solution is found to be 22.4 liters. So this will be found to be 22.4 liters when number of moles will be 1 mole. So here for 1 mole, I am getting 11.2 liters. No, answer should be 22.4. So even R is not the option, right? We did the calculation, right? How many number of atoms are there? So if this is this many number of atoms, which will be around 30 point something. So this is 1.8 point something, right? So that is also wrong. Even R is not the correct answer. So for option number A, I will mark just Q as the correct option. Okay. The same way I need to proceed with option number B. Option number B says you are to start with 1 gram of hydrogen. Let us do it in a similar fashion. So we are talking about 1 gram of hydrogen. So what is the molar mass of hydrogen? It is 2 gram per mole, right? So 1 mole of hydrogen will be equal to 2 grams. Am I right? So if I am talking about 1 gram of hydrogen, don't you think it will be 1 by 2 moles? Oh wow, I got P as the correct answer, right? Let me write PQ RS. So P, I have got the answer, that is correct. Second is 1 mole of hydrogen will be, 1 gram of hydrogen will be having these many atoms of hydrogen. No guys, 5 cannot be a factor in this question. So option number Q is not gonna be the correct answer, right? Okay. So guys, now he is saying half moles. And I told you just a minute back, when you are taking 1 mole, the volume will be 22.4 liters. When you are taking half mole, the volume is going to be 11.2 liters. So that is also correct. And let us proceed with S. Let's see how many molecules will be there in half mole. So you will say, ma'am, half into 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23. Even if you do not solve it properly, it will be something 3 into 10 raised to the power 23, but here it is 1.8 into 10 raised to the power 23. So even this is also not the correct option. So the correct option are only P and R. Let me write it. Okay, so this is possible that one particular statement can have more than one correct option as well. Fine. Done with this, let us move on to option number C. Option number C, let's see what is there. If you talk about option number C, which is 22 grams of CO2. 22 grams of CO2 is same, right? 44 grams of CO2 will be equal to 1 mole, right? So if you talk about 22 gram of CO2, it will be just 0.5 mole. So half mole molecules, that is correct. So P is the correct answer first of all. Then 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 into 5, right? Guys, let us see. So we have half mole. So we will have half into 1 mole of CO2 molecules. How many atoms will be there? So don't you think you will be writing half into 3 atoms. One molecule is having 3 atoms. And how many molecules are there? 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23. So this comes out to be 3. Guys, again see, 3 into 3 is something like 9 into 10 raised to the power 23. So it is not having 6 into 5, 30. So I will say Q is not the option. It is wrong. Okay. Moving on to whether R can be taken as an option or not. Yes, half mole simply means 22.4 divided by 2, which is 11.2 liters, right? So even R is an option. And just now we did the calculation, right? Answer was 9 into 10 raised to the power 23, not 1.8 into 10 raised to the power 23. Okay. So the correct answer for option number C is also P and R. Here also I want to show you one thing. Earlier you got the answer for B as P and R. So don't be like, if for C also the answer is coming out to be same, so don't be sad and don't be surprised. No, it cannot be the answer, it is already of B. No, don't think like that. So this is independent of this, okay? Fine. So done with the third part also, let us move on to the fourth part, which is 9 grams of water. So if I talk about 9 grams of water. Guys, now this depends. Water can exist as both solid, liquid or gas. Let me just for your simplicity say I am talking about water in the liquid state. Okay, I am just saying, let's say if water is given in the liquid state. So now I have water in liquid state. At room temperature, because all these values are given at room temperature. It is not given in the question that 9 gram of water is to be taken at 100 degrees C or 110 degrees C. It must be taken at room temperature, so water should be liquid. Now, water is having molar mass of 18 grams per mole. That means if you are talking about 9 grams of water, I will be talking about half moles of water, right? And if I am writing half moles of H2O molecule, okay? Now see, half mole molecules of water, cool enough. So P is gonna be an answer. Is it having 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 into 5 atoms? Let's see. So 1 by 2 into, how many atoms are there in one molecule of water? 2 plus 1, 3 into 6.022. Which will be 3 into 3 again 9. So even P was the option, yes. Q is not the option. R is the option or not? Okay, for sure S is also not the option, because answer should be 9 into 10 raised to the power 23, right? Now, do you think that option number R will be correct for 9 grams of water or not? You might be thinking, ma'am, what is so special? When I am talking about half moles of water, and when you told us that 1 mole will occupy 22.4 liters, so half mole should occupy 11.2 liters, right? Yes, so option number R should be the answer, right? But guys, don't you think that the formula that I did, that if temperature is 273 Kelvin, okay, pressure is 1 atm, number of moles is 1, the volume of the system will be 22.4 liter. But the system was an ideal gas. You remember we did the question, we did every theory, but that was for the gaseous system. Nowhere ever I have said that liquid water 1 mole will have a volume equal to 22.4 liters. No, neither the solid. So even R is not the correct option for this particular question, and hence the only option which was correct was option number B. Okay. So guys, this question was really very simple. But when the time was there, when there was no, partial marking in JEE, and at that time if you would have written a wrong point in this particular part, your entire question would have gone wrong. So this was so important for JEE. Okay. So you need to take care of small things in order to get full marks, right? So guys, quickly note down this point and mark it as a circle and say it's important, so that I can now move on to the next question. You can quickly note it down so that we can move further. So guys, you people are done with question number 8 as well, right? Let us now move on to the next question. And the next question that I have taken for you people is, okay, a 5.2. So the question is, a 5.2 molar aqueous solution of methyl alcohol, which is CH3OH 5.2 molar, is supplied. Okay, it's given to me. What is the mole fraction of methyl alcohol in that particular solution? Okay, so we are having 5.2 molar solution of CH3OH. Okay, and I need to calculate the mole fraction. So guys, how can I calculate the mole fraction? We know, right? Mole fraction can be written as number of moles of CH3OH to be divided by the total number of moles. That means number of moles of CH3OH plus the number of moles of water. Okay, so I need to find out what is the mole fraction and what is the solution given to me. The solution given to me is 5.2 molar. So if the solution says that yeah, I am 5.2 molar, that means 5.2 moles per kg, right? That means 1 kg of water is having how many moles of CH3OH? 5.2 moles of CH3OH, right? So guys, if I move further, 1 kg of water means how much grams of water? 1000 gram, right? But what is the number of moles of water in 1000 grams of water? Divided by 18 grams per mole. So guys, this calculation, okay, listen to me carefully. This 1000 by 18 will be repeated so many number of times in the paper that you should now remember the value, and this is 55.55 moles. Okay, it will be repeated again and again. So it's better that you should remember. Like sometimes you will get 100 by 18. Okay, sometimes you may get 50 by 9. So these approximate values will be given. So you can correlate them here and you should remember the answer. Okay. Now guys, moving further. So what should I be writing the mole fraction as? Number of moles of methanol, which is 5.2, right? 5.2. To be divided by 5.2 plus 55.55. Okay. So the mole fraction can further be written as 5.2 divided by 60.75. See guys, this is moles and this is also moles. That means now the unit will get cancelled. So if the units get cancelled and if you solve it, the answer will come out to be 0.0855. That means the mole fraction of methanol will be something 0.0855. I am very intelligent, so I did the calculation in my mind, right? But you people should do the calculation and cross check if it is correct or not. Let me see if any option is there like that. So answer was 0.0855, right? So can I write it to be 0.086? Let's see the option. 0.1, no, not this much approximation. 0.19, no. 0.086, awesome. Okay, so we have got option number C as the correct option for question number 9. Right? Let us now finally proceed to the last question of this lecture for JEE Advanced. Just give me a sec. Let me now write down the question for you people. And the question I have is, okay, so there is a question. A compound H2X, okay, there is a compound H2X with the molar weight of 80 grams. Okay, so there is a compound H2X. Let me just gather the information. With the molar mass, how much? 80 grams per mole. Okay, is dissolved in a solvent having the density. Okay, I don't know what solvent, but the density of solvent is given to be 0.4 grams per ml. Okay, you need to assume, so guys see, it's given in the question that you need to assume there is no change in the volume upon the dissolution. So when you are mixing the solute and the solvent, the total volume will be added up, there is no change. The molality of 3.2 molar solution is. So that question is pretty much simple. He has given you the molarity and you are asked to calculate the molality. So how to proceed? So guys, can I move like this? I have a 3.2 molar solution, right? That means 3.2 moles are present in 1 liter of solution, right? And I need to calculate the molality. And the molality can be written as number of moles of solute. This is to be divided by the mass of solvent in kg. Guys, see, if you do not write everything in details, here I am writing to make you understand. But while solving the question, it should be your habit to write everything in details. Why? Because if you simply write no mass in kg, you will sometime take the mass of solvent, you will sometime take the mass of solute, sometimes you will take the mass of solution. So you will never understand which mass you are taking, okay? So you need to be very clear in description what you are talking about. Fine? So see, there are 3.2 moles of solute. So number of moles of solute is very clear. 3.2 moles. They are already given to me, right? Now we need to find mass of solvent in kg. Okay, let's see. So molar mass is given to me as 80 grams per mole and the density is given to me like this. We know 1 liter of solution is given, right? There was an assumption in the question that the volume of the solvent doesn't change much when you are mixing the solute in it, right? So let us simply say the solution is too dilute. So we can say that 1 liter of solution, which is nothing but 1000 ml. And the same can be taken as the volume of solvent also 1000 ml. So this assumption is given to us in the question itself, right? So I am just assuming that there is 1 liter of solvent. So 3.2 moles of solute are present in 1 liter of direct solvent, okay? Now the density of solvent is given to me as 0.4 grams per ml, okay? So if I ask you to multiply 0.4 grams by 1 ml, this is to be multiplied by 1000 ml. Okay, so what will be the mass of solvent that I'll be getting? I'll get the mass of solvent as 400 grams. So mass of solvent in kg should be 400 to be divided by 1000 and this will be kg, right? So it will be 3.2 moles into 1000 divided by 400 kg. So guys, if you solve it properly, now while solving it properly, you will be getting the final answer. And this will be, let's see, put another 0 here. This will go away. 32 by 4 is 8 molar, right? 8 moles per kg, which is 8 molar. Okay. Now guys, look at the question. When I was reading the question, I didn't pinpoint any, options. No options were given. So this was another category of question which was integer type question. So you need to mark an integer from 1 to 9 and thus the answer will be 8. Okay? Okay. So guys, these were all the 10 different questions that I have chosen from JEE Advanced exercise, right? I tried to cover up almost all the different pattern questions, like we have done certain match the following, we did integer type questions, right? We did statement questions, we did single correct questions, we did multi correct questions as well. So I just wanted it to be a combo of all the types of questions that you may be getting in your paper. So with this thing, we are now done with the very first chapter, mole concept. So you have everything with you in hand. You have the complete notes, all the video lectures, you have CBSE questions, you have JEE Mains, JEE Advanced, all the questions are available to you. So the only thing that is required from your end is that you should study very appropriately, right? So study well, take care and be happy. So I will be meeting you in my next lecture. Till that time, take care. Bye-bye.